Hey, welcome to New Jump City, everybody, where we recap the week in American and Japanese sequential art. I am your host, Christian, the unbiased king. Espinal, and joining me through Discord, it is the man, the myth, the legend, the tank top sage. It's Joshua Gangsta Time Cole.
It's called Partner, but it should be called Gangsta Time.
What up? What's good, Chris? What's up, everybody listening?
Hell yeah. Also joining us, it is our edgelord producer, Big News Brian.
なんというビッグニュース!
What's up, nerds? Oh, yeah, we're back, baby. We have got some manga to talk about. Very excited. One Piece, Undead Unluck, Kagurabachi, Sakamoto Days. You know what time it is. But before we do that, let's get into
There's no Dandadan?
There's no Dandadan this week. No Dandadan this week. But next week, there probably will be Dandadan, so stay tuned.
Hey, I'm caught up.
I'm also caught up, incidentally. But today we got a smooth little show going, so let's not waste any time. Let's get into plugs. You could find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. Joshua Cole, where can they find you?
At JD Cole_37. That's on Instagram. And at New Jump City Josh on TikTok, because it's still around.
It is still around for now. For like 70 days. So follow us until then. Brian?
You can find me at b.esp on both Instagram and Twitter. And if you ever want to catch me when I'm streaming, which is probably going to be never now, you can find me at twitch.tv/itspunchline.
Why never now?
Because I'm not really playing games like that anymore.
Damn.
I've been working on my book pretty
Hey,
hardly.
Brian's writing a book, everybody. I do know this. But yeah, well, hopefully he'll be streaming once he finishes his book. Buy his future book in the future, if you're listening to this from the future.
Download it.
Yeah, get it on Kindle or wherever. You can follow the show itself at New Jump City on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok. You can email us at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about. And we'll answer all emails on our pre-show chat show that we do. You don't have to even ask us manga-specific questions. You can ask us about ourselves and stuff, and what we think about other things. And we'll talk about it there. Mike B, after a prolonged absence, sent us some questions recently, and we had some fun talking about that. So we'd love more. Please send them in. You could subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, Castbox, Pocket Casts.
We love Pocket Casts.
We love Pocket Casts here. Follow us on any of those platforms. We're pretty much probably on every audio podcast platform in existence. And if you like the video version, we're back in full force video wise. Hit us up on YouTube, give us a like, a share, subscribe. We're actually getting a lot of nice little engagement there since we came back to video. We appreciate you guys. Welcome new subscribers. We have our entire backlog in the audio version if you guys want to dip back and listen to us talk about the Wano era as it was happening. But yeah, thank you guys for subscribing and for liking and for commenting so far. That has been super cool. Keep it coming if you like the show. It always gives me a little serotonin boost, which is all you could ask for these days. But with that being said, that's it for plugs. Let's get into the show proper. One Piece. This is One Piece, chapter 1137, introducing Shamrock. I did mention this in the last time that we covered One Piece, but the cover stories have had some interesting developments go on. There has been a string of kidnappings in Wano, and Yamato, who's on a pilgrimage to deliver the young Don Yasui's sword to his shrine, has come across this problem and is teamed up with Otama, Shinobu, I think, is there, and Hold'em to find out what the hell's going on with all these thieves. And they arrive at this hideout that seems to be Who's hideout, which is very interesting because a lot of Kaido's thugs are seemingly still on the island, and who's who. The Toby Roppo could be here in its entirety.
Who's who? Sorry. See, I read One Piece and I still don't fucking remember.
Who's who is the guy that Jinbei fought in the Wano battle? The saber-toothed tiger.
Oh, you mean the Triceratops or whatever?
No, that was Sasaki. Who's who is the one that Jinbei fought? This former CP9 member.
Yeah, he was the guy who had Luffy's fruit of it originally, and then Shanks beat the shit out of him.
And he's the guy
What?
Damn, dude, your memory is crazy.
Someone else had the gum fruit before Luffy. That
No,
wasn't
no,
me?
no.
No, it was just like in like the fruit itself was just in transit.
The government had possession of the fruit, and Shanks got it in the first place by stealing it from who's ship.
From that guy.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
But this cover page, the Yamato, Otama, and the rest of them are infiltrating the hideout, and there are these 3 goons there. I don't know who they are. I don't think they're introduced characters at this point. But that's all we know. And then we continue on to the chapter proper. Luffy and Rodo, Nami, and Zoro have entered the Alrust Castle to find the keys for Loki's cuffs or Loki's chains so they can question him about his motives and the deal that he made with Luffy. Well,
was the Loki.
Is that your Loki impression?
Loki pose. Yeah.
But yeah, he goes in there. Rodo has says that he's never been in the castle himself, so this is a brand new thing for him. And they notice that the castle is in a bit of dismay here. It's pretty much destroyed. It's overgrown. There's trees everywhere. And Zoro points out this fact, and Rodo explains that Loki is responsible for what happened here. But the king was also strong in his own right. So the battle pretty much destroyed this castle here. And
he fought his dad to the death.
Yeah, it seems so.
Oh.
And they walk in to further into the castle, and they find a giant graveyard, a literal giant graveyard. And we see these giants with horns on their skulls, some of them. And they explained that the largest bones belong to the warriors with the blood of ancient giants. And that's very interesting. I have a comment about that later. But yeah, there are no longer any pure-blooded ancient giants, but there's still some people who have their genetics in their family line. King Harold was apparently an ancient giant.
What's the difference between ancient giants and a regular
Well, they had
giant?
one of the biggest differences is that ancient giants had horns, and
Oars is an ancient dragon.
Oars is an ancient dragon, giant. Sorry, and by extension, so is Oars Jr.
Is Oars Jr. alive right now?
No, he died in Marineford. He was the giant on Whitebeard's crew.
The one with the hat,
right?
That Ace made him.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we finally get a look at King Harold, actually. Apparently, he ripped off the horns on his head with his own hand, with his bare fucking hands. And he has these big scars on the sides of his head where his horns used to be. He says to him, ancient giants were a reminder of their era of war. So, he, as a show of just putting that behind him and dedicating himself to peace, he ripped off his own horns and just seemed to really push for peace, I guess. He has the kind of Kratos tattoos across his face. I don't know if that's specifically Kratos, but his design reminds me of Kratos from the God of War games.
Yeah, it does, right? A little bit.
Just an odified version of him, I suppose. But yeah, they keep going through. Apparently, there was his death was a great shock but it was hardest on the other king of Harold, which is Hajrudin, which we know. Apparently, Hajrudin is Loki's stepbrother. They have different moms. Hajrudin was born to another woman prior to Harold's marriage, and and his mom was not allowed to be queen because she was a giant from a different nation, which is pretty nuts.
They're
Apparently,
half brothers.
yeah, they're half brothers, and apparently there's multiple giant nations. That's kind of nuts.
Yeah, I mean, there's like, you mean outside of Elbaf?
Yeah.
Yeah, like what's his name? What's this guy's name? The like Robin's giant guy.
Oh, Saul.
Saul's from like a giant nation outside of Elbaf.
Oh, I didn't know that. But yeah, Zoro points out to like, what? Why does that matter? You're all giants from different. You're all giants, and Roto explains, well, do you humans not wage war over land and resources as well? And Zoro's like, yeah, yeah, we do that. You're right.
Yeah, facts.
That would be correct.
Nami says like, you have some really bigoted views about other giants and humans, and Roto's like, oh, but you're different. And she's like, don't suck up to me, scum. He's like, oh. Because I guess he's a little sub now.
Yeah.
Oh. So Zoro asks if Hajrudin's blood is tarnished, then why do you ride with his crew? And we get a little backstory, a little tiny like 3-panel flashback where Roto used to be picked on for being a little nerd in a country of warriors, and Hajrudin found one of his maps and praised him for it. And he's like, "Whoa, you draw sea charts? Can you show me how to do it? You want to be my friend?" And Roto explains that unlike him, he was a truly honest and straightforward man. And despite being unable to live in the castle with his father and seeing the way his mother was tormented, he withstood all the pain and said, I want to unify all of giant kind. And he says, I am the man who will be king of all giants. Which is nice. This is a nice little backstory for Hajrudin.
Yeah, it was.
And
That was cool.
yeah, and Roto's joining along to make the dream come true. So Luffy Luffy seems to have found the giants that were knocked out by our friends from the Holy Knights. And we cut over to said friends from the Holy Knights. Loki is getting beat up by Gunko, is how I learned how to pronounce her name. And she's got these big old boots that have the arrow thing that was on her sleeves, form around them. She's a giant herself, basically. And Not Shanks asks, it doesn't change our question, and Gunko is like a member of a common rabble. Receiving a chance to join the ranks of gods is a miracle that only one can dream of. And we are offering you that miracle now. And Loki starts to predict her moves before she even does them. She says, your foot's gonna accelerate to my right cheek, and after I've turned the other way, you'll give me an uppercut with that fist of yours. So super advanced observation hockey for Loki.
No, I think he's trying to say that the arrows are like the arrows are basically blatantly telling him what she's gonna do.
But he can't see. He has the bandages.
Can he really not see?
I would figure. I mean, he has unless his fruit is X-ray vision. But he's being very specific. He's like,
she's projecting that to him. I think.
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it's something that Loki is like making. I think it's her.
I guess so. Oh, it doesn't matter because she does say that like those arrows are the confirmed path of my very future, the declaration of unavoidable violence. But it is possible for me to change course. And she asks one more time, I ask you again, Loki, will you join the Holy Knights? And Loki's like, hell no. Hell no, moron. And then Gunko does immediately what she said she was going to do, kicks him in the face, and then does a cool uppercut with her arrows. And we see that all the other animals in the forest are kind of impaled by the arrows as well. So they keep torturing him, trying to get him to join the Holy Knights. And then we finally get a reveal as the hooded Shanks-esque figure unveils his hood, and we see that his name is Figurlind Shamrock, son of Saint Garling, of the Five Elders, and he's the commander of the Holy Knights. He looks like
I'm
Shanks.
still calling him Shivs.
Yeah. He has long hair. It's kind of braided at the edge there. He has longer hair than Shanks, at least. And we know that Gunko already is a Holy Knight, and we know that her fruit now that has been revealed to us is the arrow fruit. And they declare that they're going to change tactics. Shamrock says that he's sick of all these useless people, and he'd hope that they could settle this much more cleanly. Gunko says like he seems to want to die rather than join us. Is this some kind of religious thing? And Shamrock explains that the vicious warriors of Elbaf who conquered the New World long ago will be brought under the command of the world government once and for all. So that's a big deal.
God, he's so evil.
So evil. That's so not like Shanks.
Shanks would never say
Shanks
that.
would never say that.
Oh my God.
He would never do that. No.
This isn't my Shanks.
Not my Shanks. Josh, what did you think about One Piece chapter 1137?
Shamrock looks like a vampire. Like,
yeah,
his aesthetic.
Nosferatu.
Right? Or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe Dracula himself, the most regal of vampires. This was a good chapter. What to say? So I think it's really interesting that finally the world government is going to launch their like attack on the giants. And it makes sense. It makes sense that they would do it now because of the king's recent passing and there, I guess, being like a power void in Elbaf. I don't know. I don't know much about Elbaf.
Power vacuum.
Really say that. Vacuum, yeah. But I don't even know if that's essentially the case. I think they have leadership. It's just that they're not active right now. They're like at their most passive at the moment. So
most unorganized.
I guess. I mean, maybe I don't know. I don't know enough to say that. I just know that they're not as ruthless and gully like they used to be. Like this is probably like this is them at their most peaceful, which is another way, I guess, of saying maybe most vulnerable, perhaps.
Mm-hmm. Mayhaps.
So I think that it makes a lot of sense. And because I've always wondered, like, why do they just let the giants rock? Like they're five elders, you know what I'm saying? The Goro say the world government, y'all not scared of nobody. But I mean, I know there's certain things they just can't do outright because the masses of people would clearly see that as an issue and probably revolt. And Morgan wouldn't help with that either because he'll get that news out. So yeah, Loki. I mean, every time, the more and more we get to see Loki, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it.
What are you gonna say? Come on, say it.
I'm gonna say it. I think I gotta stop thinking in these in this box. There's really no more crewmates, right? That's it.
Oh,
Jinbei was the last
he's gonna
one.
join.
No, because it doesn't make sense for anyone to join at this point. And unless it's on like a fleet level. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, like I wasn't psyched about the idea of a fleet. It's so impersonal. Like, cause I like keeping it right into like, you know, just the crew and the shenanigans, but it's not about them going to each island and having little misadventures. This is the end game, you know? Everything's coming together now. So yes, I do think Loki is going to join up with them. And so is a whole bunch of other fucking giants. And they're going to come on their own ships. They're not going to be on the Sunny. There's not going to be
like
a special
a
room
fleet
for Loki. Yeah. Yeah. And that's it. Jinbei was the last person with the room.
Yeah, no, I think Jinbei is the last full-on crew member we'll get. Official crew member of the main Straw Hat Corps.
I know Chris well enough to know that, like, you're only so comfortable and okay with this because you've accepted this a long time ago and kind of hedged your expectations.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I mean, you know, there's 10 characters on the ship. There's just not going to be enough time to give every character like their due. If we get 15 people on the ship.
Like, what's particular about your statement, man, and what I'm trying to point out is that that's a decision you're making to rationalize it that way.
You think I'm coping?
I agree. It is a cope, but
that is just like a cope by people with agendas.
It kind of is a cope, but it's not really because you're not complaining. No, you're not. But it's like it's like a defensive cope
I'm
instead
not being
of like
defensive.
a battling. It's like you're layering your
No, I just didn't have the same expectations. This is about what I expected. I'm satisfied.
Once upon a time, though, it wasn't like that.
What do you mean?
I think once upon a time, though, you thought, man, keep them coming. Who's not keep them coming, but who's next?
Sure, because the 10 crew limit, 10 crewmate limit hasn't been reached yet.
There's a 10-man crew limit. Is this something? Are you arbitrarily making it like?
Well, that's what Luffy said when he first set sail. That he only needs 10 people.
Well, they said you need 10 people minimum.
Well, Luffy said he only need 10, and I feel like that was Oda communicating that there's probably going to be 10 people, and then the fleet. Can I say what I think is going to happen?
What do you think is going to happen?
I think if Loki is going to join, he's going to be co-captains with Hadridan.
Yeah.
True. Or
There seems to be a tension that's going to be released.
Why did he kill his father?
We don't know.
Big deal.
We don't even know that he did that. He probably didn't. It's probably going to be sad. He probably would.
Yeah. Why you kill your dad?
And he's so prideful. He's like, I don't care what y'all believe. You know, yo, One Piece Cactus is really like that. Yeah,
what do I care what you think?
Rereading the series, people are really.
You could think I'm a villain all you want.
It got so popular. They like it might be a little like, you know, edgy to me now or whatever, or kind of like slightly played, right? But back then, bro, like late 90s, early 2000s, nothing else was like that. Nobody had a fucking series with a nonchalant MC like Luffy, but he was so nonchalant and still went hard. Like almost to the point that it'd be making no fucking sense. But then you just learn to deal with it. I think you accept that, oh, it's not that Luffy is this thoughtful person that has his whole ideology set. He's just going on vibes and being free.
Yeah.
And that's cool. Because Oda commits.
Yeah.
Oda commits. That was all. I don't really have any more thoughts on the actual chapter, though. Brian, how blown away are you about the reveal of Figurlin Shamrock?
Oh my god, the name sucks. Not gonna lie.
Shamrock.
The name fucking blows.
Did we do that? Did we do that though?
Shivs was better,
fault, right? It was.
Yeah.
That's our fault.
Shivs and Shanks.
That would have been a good one. But instead we got Shamrock Shake. Motherfucker.
Yeah, right, from McDonald's. Ooh, that's coming soon. That Shamrock. Don't sleep on it, y'all.
Shamrock Shake Shakes.
That mint, the mint and
I never had a
and
Shamrock Shake.
vanilla. Try it. Get it small. Just get the small one. So, you know.
Honestly, the design for Shamrock looks pretty fucking sick, though. Not gonna lie, with the twos on the collar, he looks kind of dripped out.
Those are twos?
Are those twos?
Yeah.
Or are they just like fancy squiggly things?
I think they're twos. But it's a cool.
Yeah, he has
design.
ones on his legs.
He got the ones.
No, literal ones hanging down.
He's got the.
You see, like
those aren't ones.
as soon as his black, as soon as like where the white pants end and the black boots rise up, you see those lines hanging. Those are ones.
Those are not ones.
Good question. None of the other straw
I mean, if
hats
those are
have
twos,
met-
then those are ones. So
none of the other straw hats have met Shanks before, right?
No.
So literally,
Robin
Luffy
has.
could run up to this guy and be like, "That's Shanks,"
Robin
and then
has not.
everybody
No,
will
she
be
hasn't.
like,
no, she has not.
like
I can't.
Luffy can run up to him and be like, "That's Shanks," and then everybody will be like, "Yeah, that's Shanks because you said
Well,
that's Shanks," and then he could be like, "Yeah, I'm Shanks."
No, because Shanks has a scar on his eye and Shamrock does not.
And he's also missing an arm.
Yeah, he has both his arms.
Oh, right.
Yeah, there's that. That's that small detail.
And his hair's longer. But Shanks could have gotten long hair.
And he has a tiara braid
Yeah.
or whatever that shit is called.
I'm calling it a tiara braid from now on.
But aside from that,
You know, like the crown. It's like a little crown. It goes
Yeah, no,
around.
I know what you mean.
That shit looks mad pretty on girls.
it does look
It's making
pretty
your
on
boy
Shamrock.
look very sweet.
Well, he's a Shamrock Shake.
He looks like quite the sweet guy.
Next chapter, he just destroys the Straw Hats in one hit.
Jesus, he better not. He better be scared of Luffy.
Gunko's Devil Fruit.
You better
looks
see
pretty
Luffy and be
cool,
like,
though.
oh shit. No thanks. Is there threes? Does he have threes on him somewhere? There's got to be more.
I don't know. I don't think those are twos. Those are
I don't think
definitely
they're
not
twos
ones.
either. I think what actually is happening right now is a sarcastic jab.
Sarcastic jab?
Jab.
Mm-hmm. Because I didn't think that those were actually twos.
The road of sarcasm strikes again. Brian, what were you saying?
It's getting harder and harder.
I was saying that the Arrow Devil Fruit is actually pretty cool. It's probably one of the. I hope it's a Paramecia because they don't get enough shine.
You know what it reminded me of?
I don't think it's a Logia.
Yeah. You know what it
Is
reminded me
Arrow?
of? It reminded me of Medusa from Soul Eater.
Yeah.
we talked
I
about
knew
that
there was
last
something
week.
familiar about that shit.
Did we? Did we say that last week?
You said that last week?
Yeah, I brought it up last week.
Oh, okay.
Well, you were right, Brahim.
You were right.
Because it really does look
Looks
just
like
like
Medusa.
Medusa. Snake,
Snake.
Cobra.
Cobra.
Oh, yeah.
Cobra. What was it? Snake. Cobra.
Yeah.
But those are all my thoughts, really. It was a pretty simple chapter. What about you, Chris?
I actually picked
Wait,
this.
hold on. I have a rebuttal. Brian, do you want to be stomped out by her long boots?
No,
Okay.
that's it.
Was that it?
Yeah, it looks like that. was
Roto
it.
does, though.
Yeah, he
Roto
would.
for sure.
Roto will. Roto might
for
betray the country of Elbaf.
He might be the one.
Yo, what if they're building up his his submissive kink for when he meets Gunko? Because she's like really like domineering right now. And
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
yes.
she is.
yo, this will be
She had a line. I'm sorry, Chris. She said, those arrows are the confirmed path of my very future. A declaration of unavoidable violence. A declaration of unavoidable violence. Oh yeah. Roto is going to be in fucking heaven.
yeah, he's gonna be down bad. It's gonna be
As a matter of fact, I think Gunko might actually turn coat.
yeah.
Yeah. She never probably ran into someone that enjoyed it so much like that.
I can't leave him. Our kinks align.
This is destiny.
Yeah, but I was gonna say I did pick this to be my RGC for the week.
Certified RGC. Certified RGC. Certified RGC.
I really liked it. I like the character development for Hajuden. It is a little bit of a simple chapter, and not a lot was going on. A lot of things are being developed, I guess, and set up. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed like getting the backstory for some characters, for like Roto. I didn't expect to get Roto's backstory in this, and for it to be as heartwarming as it was. And it really was the most efficient little flashback I've seen. I mean, I don't really need more information than this even, just like, oh, that's a sweet reason for him to join. Getting the backstory, the lore on the Giants and the politics that they had, or, their like inner culture at the time is really interesting. Getting Loki to be just some guy who's not going to turn coat on Elbaf no matter what, not like he's being called this despicable, cursed person, but he's not selling them out to the Holy Knights. So that's something.
Good point. Great point. That's got to count for something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you already know whatever happened with him and his dad. They had a fucking fight. They had an epic war. I thought he like assassinated him or something like that. That's how they made it sound.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's just what I projected.
Yeah, I mean, there's like it's a common thing in One Piece that history is somewhat distorted in the eyes of civilians and people who live on the island. So, I feel like this is just another example of that. Gunko's arrow powers are pretty cool. I'm excited to see what Shamrock can do. I wonder if Shamrock has a devil fruit of some sort. I wouldn't be surprised if he's going to be
that would be a really cool juxtaposition to Shanks.
Yeah, because Shanks is like, a hockey man.
A hockey man? You mean a fighter who relies on hockey?
No, it's a hockey man. There's a big fucking difference.
He's a hockey man.
Hockey man?
He said, like everyone else in the Grand Line. Like, there's a fucking difference.
Like,
that was funny.
Like
but
everyone else
that's
in the new world.
Disingenuous. Like, you know what the fuck he means.
A hockey man?
Like, Garp is a hockey man.
A hockey man?
Yeah.
You mean
A hockey man? You mean a fighter who relies on hockey?
Okay.
I gotta watch that video again. It's been too long.
It's so fucking funny. It's still funny to this day. Is that whole debate? There's no such thing as a fucking hockey man. Someone must have listened to that sound in the anime because they literally made a hockey Susanoo.
Who made a hockey Susanoo?
In the anime, Shanks made that bird out of hockey.
Oh yeah, a hockey man.
Hockey domain expansion.
We like touch on this every 10 One Piece.
It's so funny. It's too funny. It's too
very
iconic.
necessary.
Wait a second. What if hockey is how you create devil fruits? Like if your hockey is so fucking good that you just bestow the will upon the fruit.
No, because there's a tree out there. There's trees for every fruit, it seems.
Yeah, but think about it.
One day.
I think Oda has mentioned
I'd like to see one
before.
of them one day.
I think Oda mentioned before that devil fruits are like dreams that somebody had or something like that, right?
Well, Vegapunk has said more likely that the devil fruits, and this is a theory, he's not confirmed that this is true, but his theory is that the devil fruits are born of something someone wished they could be, or an ability someone wished they could have. And and they're supposed to represent a possible evolution in the human life. So, for example, the soap power is something someone so desperately wished that they could have that it manifested somehow, some way into reality. Somebody wanted the bubble fruit. Someone wanted bubble powers to that extent.
And I'm saying that hockey is the thing that allowed it to become a devil fruit.
I don't see it.
Are you willing to take the ultimate bet?
Because there seems to be a definitive, defined way devil fruits come into existence, and hockey is not mentioned as part of that process. But I don't know
because
yet.
they don't know yet.
I mean,
it's
maybe.
like when they die and their hockey is so powerful that it refuses to die with them.
A hockey man? You mean a fighter who relies on hockey?
So it goes to become that. And then Shanks's devil fruit would become a devil fruit because of his hockey.
The hockey fruit?
No, he wouldn't have the hockey fruit. It would probably be like a bird.
Okay.
Like a mythical Zoan.
Yeah. Yeah, then he'd really be a hockey man.
Like, think about it. Sun God Nika has a devil fruit.
Mm-hmm.
So the original Nika's hockey was so strong and that it got imbued into a devil fruit.
Well, Nika wasn't a person. It was a god.
Yeah, and the god was alive at one point.
You're telling me that this god had so much hockey, that all gods in this world...
Dude, they literally showed Nika, not Joy Boy. They showed Nika.
Rengoku
as a silhouette.
Rengoku has a Buddha fruit.
Also, gods aren't really gods in this series. You do that's been the whole point of this series, is that gods don't really exist. It's just how people idolize people, or how people idolize their positions and power and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, every single time somebody has been a god in One Piece, it's been a false god.
Well,
Almost
sure,
every
but
single time.
There's not like gods existing, but there's a pantheon in One Piece
I don't think there's what pantheon?
Buddha exists in the One Piece world.
Yeah, but the
like
Buddha
for a Buddha fruit to exist, Buddha has to exist in some way, in some religious form.
But when has somebody like prayed to? Well, I know Kuma had a fucking church, but it's like religion isn't really a part of One Piece like that, is it?
No, it's not part of the overall story, but you don't have to be. But religion has to exist, presumably, in the world for religious figures to have fruits modeled after them.
Sus.
All right. Well, good argument there.
I don't know. I think
gods.
Something.
I think you can have that theme of gods don't really exist, and it's just people making their way, and still have a pantheon that exists in the abstract, that there are forces that people pray to. Doesn't mean that those forces have to be real, but the forces exist in the sense that people believe in them. Like the Bible exists in One Piece because Kuma carries it around. And that means maybe not the exact Christian religion, but some kind of religion exists. Not that it's physically real, that like gods are walking among the earth, but people pray to these gods in this world.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I feel like Nika is an exception to the case, though.
He might be, because he is an entirely fictional god, unique to this world in this manga. But yeah, I mean, I really like this chapter. I already said why I did, and I thought it was the best chapter of the week. So I don't really have any other rebuttals outside of that. Does anybody want to chime in?
Nah, I've said my piece.
No justice, no peace. Josh?
I already gave my thoughts, right?
Yeah. No, I was just asking if you had any rebuttals.
Nah.
Alrighty then. It's time to move on.
Holy shit.
Sakamoto Days. This is Sakamoto Days, chapter 198. Useful. Last we left off, Sakamoto did a really cool stuntman drive into the cruise ship carrying Ando, his current target, and Shin's alleged father. So Shin actually got on the boat before Sakamoto, but he was tossed overboard before he could confront his dad proper. And Sakamoto saved him with a super cool car stunt that crashed directly into the cruise ship. And Sakamoto is enlisting Shin's help to take down Ando once and for all. Ando. Sakamoto. This chapter starts off with Sakamoto telling Shin, "I'll be right back. I gotta go kill your dad." And Shin asks him, now that you mention it, what did my dad do? How come there's a hit out on him? And Sakamoto's like, beats me. I try not to learn too much about my targets. And so Shin is like, well, if you don't know, then I'm going to ask him myself. I'll find my dad before you do, and I'll give him a piece of my mind. We then cut to the group of assassins that seem to be on the boat. One of them has these super cool sunglasses and is of unknown gender. It seems like a guy, but who knows? And they explain, they're talking about Shin, who they realize survived being thrown overboard, and that he's traveling with a suspicious character, a silver-haired male with glasses. And so he's like, well, probably a hitman from the JAA. That dude must be pretty sure of his skills to come after us himself. And they decide to find the hitman and the kid and kill them both ASAP. And so Shin reunites with Sakamoto because he is simply a child and he cannot evade these assassins by himself. So he sticks close to Sakamoto. And they notice that the ship is incredibly big. There's shops on it. It's like they're in like some main street of really fancy town or whatever city. And they're just marveling at how fancy this thing is.
Yeah. I've never been on a cruise like that.
No.
I mean, I've never been on a big cruise at all, honestly.
I've never been on a cruise, period.
That's incredible. He got palm trees on that shit.
Yeah. But yeah, as they're walking through, Shin is overwhelmed by the thoughts of everyone on this place, and it's getting. I guess it's before the point where he can control it to a point where he can phase out these voices, and at that point, one of the hitman bodyguard, whatever's that was there before, sits at the piano on stage in the restaurant where they're at, and starts to play the piano. And Shin is impressed, but Sakamoto peeps that he's a hitman, and he explains that there are tiny scars and gun calluses on his hands, and those aren't the hands of a musician. And he thinks
I just want to say this real quick. I knew it before he even said anything. Like, it went to the next page when they just showed him on the piano and then his face like playing it. I was like, that's an assassin.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah.
Sakamoto is thinking to Shin that they're surrounded because that guy in the piano is a hitman. There's hitmen all over them. And so one of them gets closer, and Sakamoto imagines himself killing Shin, which causes Shin to kind of like go into shock for a quick minute so that Sakamoto can save him by whipping up one of the tablecloths like, a towel like you would do in like some kind of locker room where you're just like, and he hits him in the face with it, which was pretty sick. And then With one tap of the piano, one of the piano keys, the lights go out entirely. All the hitmen have night vision goggles, and they try to jump Sakamoto in the dark. And so Sakamoto picks up Shin, carries him piggyback, and tells him to read the enemy's minds and tell him where they are. And so he does that. Sakamoto beats up these guys with the help of Shin. It was pretty sick. He slams the piano. He beats up the guy with the piano. He tosses him inside the piano and then drops the piano cover on him. And then they both sit at the piano and beat him up with the piano keys.
Forehand rapid attack.
Yeah. And that apparently knocks him out and or kills him because he is bleeding from this. So yeah, everybody in the dining room is just clapping as if they didn't just watch a full-on fight happen, and a guy's hanging out of the piano. And Sakamoto's like, he turns to Shin and he says, "You're actually pretty useful." And that's where the chapter ends, with Ando in the background looking like, damn. And that was Sakamoto Days, chapter 198. Josh, what did you think?
This was my favorite chapter of the week.
Hey.
Bless you, Brian.
Thank you.
Certified RGC. Certified RGC. Certified RGC.
This is mine too.
Whoa, double RGC.
Certified RGC. Certified RGC. Certified RGC.
Yeah. Hilarious chapter. I loved it. Good action too. I mean, Sakamoto using Shin literally like as a detector, like as a radar. Cool stuff. You know what I mean? The towel, that was dope. I never get tired of this shit. Like the fact that he was his name Spiel Montero, piano assassin. He gets me every time, guys. What can I say?
Yeah, it's my favorite quirk of the series.
Yeah, I mean they did the piano dude greasy. They dealt with his cronies, so they're like, and then he pulled up to the musician himself and just vibe. Why do they do that?
Do what?
He just pulled up on him. Oh, he already knew he was an assassin.
Yeah.
He was the first one the Sakamoto detected.
Yeah.
So I guess it was inevitable that he would get crushed as soon as shit started like popping off. He wouldn't forget about him. Yeah, how you do this shit out of somebody with their own instrument, and then it's a yeah, though he's like my piano.
I wonder if since he's specifically the piano assassin, I wonder if this piano, the keys are extra deadly, and that's why this is actually hurting him.
I think it just hurts like that normally.
I don't know,
but he might have some. Hopefully, next chapter he'll have some like gadgets in the piano or something like that.
That would be amazing.
Because how else is he an assassin? Like he just plays the piano and.
Well, the piano was able to control the lights in the place, so maybe it does have gadgets.
He did that on his own?
Yeah, he hit the piano key and then it turned off the lights.
Oh yeah, he did that himself. Or maybe he's communicating with people. Like if I hit these notes, cut off the lights.
Maybe.
Yeah, well. I had no idea how this backstory is gonna end, or what we're gonna learn about Shin and Sakamoto that we don't already know. But I'm looking forward to it. So Brian, what were your thoughts?
This was a classic Sakamoto Days chapter. Fun action, fun use of like the environment and the setting. Unlike some other parts of this current arc, but you know, this was pretty good. This is like exactly what I like, you know, expect from the series.
Well, you know, Brian, Heisuke's not here either, you know?
Yeah, but Heisuke has nothing to do with this, and he's not forced into it, and then pretending to like, you know, be like, oh yeah, look, Heisuke's here. There he is. Here he is in the flashback. He's gonna do something, right? Anyway. This flashback's pretty cool so far. I really like it. Vintage Sakamoto Days, the art, the action, all of it's so good. It's nice to see them kind of bonding too. Kind of, he's like, Sakamoto, you're my dad now. Fuck Hondo. But yeah, those are my thoughts.
Yeah.
Chris,
I like this chapter a fair bit. It wasn't my RGC because it was a standard Sakamoto Days chapter. I enjoyed it a lot because it is Sakamoto Days. But, you know, I need that extra oomph, you know. There needs to be a little bit more going on. But, you know, I'm pretty sure
One Piece was really good.
Yeah, One Piece was just a little bit more like substantive this week. But, you know, I'm always down for like the fun action of Sakamoto Days at any given time. But, you know, this was all right. This was a good chapter. I'm excited to see what happens next in regards to Shin and Ando. Does Ando die? Is Ando still alive? That's something I'm interested in finding out.
He's going to be a recurring final boss-esque character.
Yeah. What if he's part of X's organization?
What if he's in prison right now?
Oh.
Yeah, Brian. Yeah, Brian. Yeah, that would be cool, right? And what if Heisuke fucking snipes him?
who? Ando's dad?
Yeah.
I mean,
Ando.
Ando?
Yeah.
That'd be kind of whack.
What? But it's Heisuke.
What if he bounced the bullet off of 7 different distinct objects?
But then he would be kicked out of the family.
It's a good
But
point.
that's the turn he needs. He's like, I got to do this on my own now.
So he goes from
Third
being like, yo, Shin, don't kill anybody, don't do it, to nah, actually, I gotta do it.
Yeah, so that's not your place, Shin. I'm an assassin. That's how
I'ma do
me
it.
and my bird.
Me and the
We're
bird.
gonna see y'all on the flip
Me and
side.
Peace
Me and Peace.
And then he's gonna go develop on his own.
We're the hardest
and come back
motherfuckers
to
out
save
here.
Somebody. This is gonna be a Sakamoto retrieval arc, and he's gonna come back to save one of the characters.
Yeah.
That ain't it. That ain't it, Chief.
It's not?
Nope.
All right. Well, but yeah, that's all I have to say. I don't really have much to say about Sakamoto Days this week. It was fun. Good chapter. Nothing wrong with it at all. But that's all I really had for it.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, would you rather be on this cruise or the Black Whale?
This cruise.
This cruise. 100%.
All right.
Yeah, it's not even close.
It's not even close.
There's an active sacrificial ritual going on in the Black Whale.
And there's a motherfucker that's been fiending. There's a motherfucker that's been fiending for martial law since the moment we got on this fucking ship.
Yeah. There's a whole situation.
Yeah. There's already
isn't all that.
There's already like riots going on in the lower levels where I would live. I wouldn't be in the upper levels.
And not to mention that there's not just riots, there's gang wars, there's fucking serial killers who are just killing whoever the fuck they want, not even targeting.
Yeah, there's literally someone out there who has whose ability it necessitates killing random people.
All right.
Or incentivizes it.
How about this? If Sakamoto was on the Black Whale and his assassination target was King Gyoro, whatever his name is, will he be successful?
Does he have Nen, or is he just Sakamoto as he is now?
He's peak. Like the best of his abilities,
But no
highest
Nen.
of potential.
No Nen?
I mean, he can fight he could fight enhancers without a problem. How's that?
So-
We don't even know what
Yeah,
King Nasubi's Nen Beast does.
Yeah,
if he
but
doesn't have Nen,
he
he's
don't know
kinda
what
fucked.
Sakamoto's about either.
That's true, I guess. I mean,
He doesn't know how
he wouldn't
can
be able to
turn
fight the Nen Beast.
Huh?
He wouldn't be able to kill the Nen Beast.
If he doesn't have Nen, he's just fucked.
He's just a guy.
He's just a guy.
All right, he has
Fine.
he's all right. He has Nen, but he's an enhancer. No, nothing special or unique
All right, I think he
about
can
his
do it.
Hatsu.
Yeah,
He's
then
just
maybe he could do
raw.
it.
It's,
Yeah, he could do
it
it.
adds Hatsu to everything he uses.
Okay, then
I mean,
maybe,
adds aura, whatever. Yeah.
yeah, then maybe he could do it.
He's smoking. He's getting that bounty.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I think he could do it.
If his sole target was King Nasubi, yeah,
Yeah, I don't think he
could.
could take out all the princes.
no,
He's taking out Saradnik though. I don't give a fuck about that change time. He
That
can
time
go back in
shit?
time as many times as he's want. He's gonna be like, yo, how can you bust my ass in so many ways? What the fuck is going on? He can't maintain Zetsu that long without
Yeah.
it being safe. So
yeah. What a crazy ability,
to turn anything into your demise.
man. You know, Camilla.
You know how
could
many
probably get
objects are
him.
in this room right now? All this clutter.
You know, Camilla could get him because, like, I really like Camilla's ability, the cat's eye thing.
That shit is.
I love. That's one of my favorite Nen abilities. I really think it's so cool.
It's OD. Yeah, it's like that's a real royalty shit, right?
Yeah, it's like you kill them. If you kill her, there's a giant Nen cat that appears and uses your soul to resurrect her. That shit is crazy.
We don't even know what Benjamin's beast does either, and he's about to fucking die.
Yeah, we don't know his beast. His
Yeah,
Nen ability is pretty cool though.
I forgot what his Nen ability was.
If one of his loyal soldiers dies,
Yeah.
he gets their Nen ability.
Balsamico
Yeah, it's
Mike.
crazy. I think he holds on to it forever too.
Yeah.
So,
But anyway, that's Sakamoto Days.
Then change the game. Yeah. That's it. Let's not go on. Now you're gonna have to put on the YouTube Sakamoto Days plus a little
Tiny bit of Hunter x Hunter.
tiny bit of Hunter x
Nen
Hunter.
abilities are just so cool to talk about, you know? It's such a good power system.
Yeah. We might have to have a round 2. We might have to take a second Nen Affinity.
Yeah, we got to
test.
find a different website that does the Nen Affinity test and maybe
I'm down to
find
do
one.
that again soon.
Yeah, I mean, I'll do
We
it
do that
every.
sometime.
We'll do it every month. We'll do a Nen check-in ability. on the
Yeah, maybe try to
pre-show.
change the scenarios too. So it's maybe instead of just developing a Hatsu, you got to develop maybe a different. We'll talk about
Yeah,
that.
for those who don't know though, that we did a Nen Affinity test on Crunchyroll, and we created Nen abilities based on our results. We did it on the pre-show chat show. It's titled Our Nen Abilities. Check it out. We had fun with that one. But all right, that's enough. Let's move on to our next series. Kagurabachi.
All right, gang. It's time. So the chapter picks up where we left off last week, where Kuguri finally gave in to his sword fighting boner and is now fighting Chihiro. As they're fighting, Ro is kind of like, all right, Samura's daughter is safe for now, and now it's time for the rest of us. And he kind of he pulls out a pen and he signals to Chihiro for him to buy him time. And Chihiro does the white purity style once again, but it looks like it gets interrupted by Kuguri, who takes note of his stance and essentially is like, he's kind of like, yo, that's not some regular shit. That's some shit that only Uruha and Samura could do. You must have been trained by them. And Chihiro's kind of like, nah, I'm winging this shit. And Kuguri is kind of shocked to hear that. He describes the EI white purity style as an esoteric EI technique. Esoteric meaning only a very small amount of people can use it. And the reason why is like the idea of the style of this technique is very simple, but it requires an extremely special type of movement, and it's very hard to learn. And ever since it was first invented, like by the original swordsman, Shirikai, only 2 people have been able to use this technique, and that's Uruha and Samura. And Kuguri continues to say that that technique is legit on the brink of extinction. And it's a legendary art. He is actually insanely baffled by the fact that if he never had a trainer, how the fuck did he learn to do it? And we get a flashback to Chihiro doing it back then when he was a kid. Like in the earlier flashback within this arc, Samura was showing him how to cut with a blade. And Chihiro was able to mimic him by only seeing him once. And Shiba describes that it's Rokuhira's eye that he inherited from his father.
The Sharingan.
Sword Sharingan. So he goes on to explain that a master swordsmith can gauge the steel's changing temperature and condition just by watching and molding the blade. But Chihiro's dad, Kunishige, was the top of the line swordsmith. And because of that eye, he was able to create these swords using the Danten Seki, this extremely difficult material that nobody could ever like forge blades out of reliably and not have it like explode them. He, using this special eye, he was able to draw out the power and stabilize these blades, and that's why the enchanted blades exist. But Chihiro inherited this eye, and he's now using it to apply it to combat as well. And it turns out that he learned this extremely rare and very, very difficult stance just by pure imitation. And just as Kuguri's kind of starting to come to accepting that this is reality, Ro calls out to Chihiro, and it looks like he has a little teleporting sigil on the ground, and they poof away into smoke, which Kuguri is not very happy about. He comes back to his partner and breaks the
totally
news
real.
who is very real, and everybody can see her, and tells her that she got away. And we cut to the Kyoto Bloodshed Hotel, which this is a pretty fucking sick panel here, even though it's only like legit like half a page spread. No, half a page, but it's like really cool design, especially with the owl eye in the air. And we're introduced to the general manager of the Bloodshed Hotel, Yojiro Sengoku, which is kind of, I get like a John Wick kind of vibe here, where it's like a dude who is clearly running a shady business.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very much the Continental from John Wick.
Yeah. So the Masumi, like Sumi and Samura's daughter get there, and Sengoku kind of gives them like reassurance that like there's no fucking around allowed inside of this hotel, so they'll be safe here. But we cut back to them, and everybody's in the room with them. You got the Masumi, you got Chihiro's there, and alongside Samura's daughter. The Masumi introduced their names. There's Ro, Moku, and Sumi. And Samura's daughter actually recognizes Chihiro as the Kabuki show murderer. Mini Masumi Man tries to back him up, and he's kind of just like, nah, he's not really a killer. He's like you. He likes to put other people in front of him. But Chihiro instead said, nah. Actually, there's not a misunderstanding. I am a fucking killer. I am a killer, and I'm gonna keep killing. And then Moku. Oh, you're muted, Josh.
Oh, fuck the whole vibe up.
Chihiro, you're scaring the hose.
Yeah, for real.
Dog, what is wrong with you? Relax.
Moku comes over. He's just like, yo, dog,
buddy.
Just let us
Try to be your wingman,
hook you up here, bro. Let us hook you up here, bro. But Chihiro, in very Chihiro fashion, he says, but in spite of being a killer, no, because I'm being a killer, I'll ensure your safety. And now we cut to another mini flashback where Mini Masumi Man and Chihiro are talking about her whole situation of her starting to remember Samura and the ramifications for it. And that basically it would take like 24 hours for the seal to be reaffirmed. But Samura's daughter wants to kind of understand what's happening with her and the memories that have been locked away from her. And they break the news that they manipulated her memories so that they basically say that they manipulated her memories and that her body is trying to remember it. And that if this seal were to break, there would be all kinds of people who would be coming after her to get on Samura's bad side. And they're trying to convince her to forget, but she just can't seem to want to forget about somebody who was holding her hand. Which strikes a chord for Chihiro because of the connection that he had with his father. He thinks back to he thinks about how different his life would have been if he didn't live with his dad. But regardless of that, he would never trade the time that he spent with his father for anything. So he instead allows Samura's daughter to have the chance to find out about her father, and he's going to leave it up to her to decide within 24 hours whether she wants to forget the memories, and whether she makes the decision or not. Chihiro promises her safety, and that's where the chapter ends. Josh, what are your thoughts?
Quite the transitional chapter. There's a lot in this, and this is one of the. I wish I would have gave this a second read before, but I think Chihiro is putting a lot on his shoulders yet again to try to master this new style within 24 hours. And it's like he's, I don't know, maybe I'm being too harsh, but it's almost like he's forcing this girl into a situation to kind of force him to like be strong, get strong enough in order to meet like those needs if she decides that she wants to, keep her memories and deal with the, Hishaku and Kamanabi coming after her or whatever. So, yeah, Jiro, he's an intense guy. What else stood out? I'll say this though. I think it was really nice how he thought about it himself, that like, man, like I'm in a really shitty situation because of, who my father was and how like I was raised and a part of, but he still cherishes that. So I think he feels like her and most other people would. And I respect him making a decision like that, honestly. He's just a little crazy with it. That's all.
Yeah.
He's busting out his shell a little bit more often, man.
Mm-hmm.
But he's been through a lot, so it makes sense. I'm really interested in if Samura's daughter has a future in this series, like as a combat character, frankly. But like if she'll join the team like how the sorcerer did. But he already has the Masumi, right? That's the name, the Masumi.
Yeah.
Mini Masumi.
Yeah, the Masumi.
Mini Masumi's the guy. But anyway. Yeah, you got decisions to make. Mini Masumi was pretty tame on letting Chihiro like say all of that shit, because like if the plan is really just to keep like not give her that choice and just force her to live a safe life or whatever, they would have shut Chihiro up. You know what I'm saying? But maybe I don't know if they felt like they couldn't, or if it was just a like damn, like even if we could take Chihiro, we don't really want to do that, and it's gonna look really bad in front of the girl too to see us infighting. She's probably not gonna trust us. There's I don't know. I guess there's a valid excuse for why they didn't take it more seriously, but there's no there's no reason to think that in the next chapter they're not gonna be way more like on top of that, like yo, fuck out of here.
I doubt it.
We'll see.
They are. Remember, they work for Chihiro, like, so whatever he decides, like, as is the overarching thing that's important, they're gonna follow his route. You know what I mean? Even if they don't want to do it, they're gonna have to do it anyway, because that's just how it is. They're not the bosses here. He is.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like they don't really like it, but he is the boss. And also, I do feel like that the Masumi have like this kind of they're not part of the Kamunabi, so they're just like kind of they're like contractors in a sense, where they're not involved with the Kamunabi, so they don't necessarily have a loyalty to them. And they've shown that they can be reasonable, I feel like they agree with him in the outright. They're just like risk averse because of the odds that are against them. It's enough to have the Hishaku on their tail, but the Kamunabi is also an issue. And I think that's where the hesitation comes from. But yeah. I'm sorry, Josh, were those all your thoughts, by the way?
Pretty much.
Okay.
I don't have much more to say.
Yeah, this was probably my second place chapter. I think this is just Chihiro's been developing a lot over the course of the last few chapters, and I'm enjoying to see him how, like Josh said, he is coming out of his shell a little bit, and he's taking on more responsibility. Where you can argue it's a bad thing, but I think it's important that Chihiro has like an actual direction. That it's not like he's just taking on the responsibility because he just out of a feeling of guilt or a feeling of obligation, but it is just a motivating factor he is pushing upon himself so that he does get better at this very the fundamentals of swordsmanship. And I think that's like a little different from the way he takes on a lot of responsibility before, where it was more out of a sense of duty and a sense of responsibility or guilt. So it's a more proactive sense. And you could maybe still call this self-destructive, but I guess we'll have to see. I feel like I guess it's at least a very more positive motivating factor than what he's been using to this point. So I like this. I think it's interesting, and it's very within Chihiro's character to think of the more pragmatic and more, I guess, moral way to go, being not a member of the Kabunabi as well. And, I think like there's something to him relating to the Samura girl. Because, this is a woman who doesn't have any memories of her father. And, even though that Chihiro's life turned out completely fucked as a result of having such a tight relationship with his father, he wouldn't trade it for anything. And he's putting himself in those shoes of like, he would be miserable if he was forced to forget his dad. So I think it's like kind of a really heartwarming sentiment at the very least that they can connect on. As far as Ieri, I think her name is, I'm sorry, I forget her first name, but Samura girl's potential for combat, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, she is Samura's daughter. There's probably some magic sorcerer potential there. There's a possibility that she ends up with a Tobi Maru. Sorry.
His sword?
Yeah.
Like the father's sword, yeah. That would be sick.
So, yeah. But, Kagurabachi's great. Great.
The moment that seal breaks, all hell is going to break loose, though, for sure.
Which seal? Oh, yeah. We'll see. But those are all my thoughts. Brian, what did you think?
This was a really, really good chapter. I feel like you guys kind of hit the nail on the head on a lot of things. But again, man, the character writing is just so fucking good, especially for like, these are kind of complex themes for like a shonen protagonist to kind of be covering. Chihiro's sense of morality and his like the way that he processes his emotions and his traumas and the things that he's done is very unique for a Jump protagonist. A lot of them are kind of like they always do the right, like they always do things and they're okay with the things that they do for the most part. Most of like Jump protagonists would kill and then they'd be like, all right, let's keep on going because I'm gonna be the Wizard King or some shit like that, right? Like even like Sakamoto, who was an assassin before, he doesn't kill anymore, but he doesn't like have like moral quandaries about it, even though it's not really the series for that, right? But it just goes to show like Kagurabachi is like, it just keeps building its own path for itself within this publication, like it's very, very mature themes, and I'm very impressed with every chapter that comes out. I say this every week, but yeah, those are my thoughts.
Hell yeah. Well, that was Cogs. Ready to move on to the next one? Any rebuttals before we move on?
Nah.
Alrighty. Then let's go.
The champ is here!
Undead Unluck. Oh boy. This one's going to be a tearjerker, I suppose. Josh?
Yeah, this is Undead Unluck, chapter number.
239.
Thanks. Chapter number 239.
Deadluck.
No, no. What?
That's the name of the chapter, is Deadluck.
Deadluck? Oh. That's a good one. And you guys should know why, because last week they won. They was able to create the perfect world that they wanted. And at the same time, they had their negation abilities erased so they could all live normal lives and pursue the dreams they want to. And they split up and went to go do that. And in this chapter, we're basically going along to see, what a bunch of the characters ended up doing as we see if Andy and Fuko will be able to make it to their own weddings on time. So we start the chapter at we start chapter with this beautiful color spread of like the woman on the left side and the men on the right side, in tuxedos and dresses, respectively, and it's just awesome. I love it. It shows everyone's personality all in one picture. Anyway. Yeah, we start this week at a laboratory, right? Oh, okay. I actually missed this page. That's crazy. We start this week at a laboratory. We got Julia, who is now a fencing pro, left in charge of managing the union's investments by Fuko. And we have Victor, who's a sports trainer, mainly supports Julia and Void. Sorry, I thought I heard my cat doing something weird. My bad. I've been like,
yeah, no, you're good.
Like low-key listening. My bad. So Victor, like I said, he's a sports trainer, mainly supports Julia and Void because they're in sports stuff. Mm-hmm. They're in the lab and they're talking about how like they're trying to track down Fuko and Andy's locations, also that they can get picked up again for like their wedding. So they're on Mount Ararat.
Oh yeah, Ararat.
Yeah, right. It's a weird way. It's a weird word to say in English. It's, so Fuko, who is an adventurer, and
Adventure
Gina,
time.
Yeah, and Gina Chamber, who is a painter and also Fuko's attendant.
I guess like an assistant.
What the fuck does that mean? A butler?
Yeah, I guess like an assistant or something.
Yeah. So yeah, they out in the mountains just hiking, and yeah, they're having a blast. Andy, he's a developing country he's in what? How do I even read this? Developing country support group win security force captain sponsored by Fuko Izumo. Oh, that's how she's an adventurer because she has mad bread.
She has so much money.
That's cool. Yeah, I guess she earned it. She did help save the world or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's in charge of a security force. Good for you, Andy. In developing countries. So who else is there? Rip is there. He's a medical squad leader. What else? Nico's there. Science squad leader. They making big moves. But this is the point where both Andy and Fuko realize that the wedding was actually like this day while they're in completely different sides of the earth, doing completely different things. So that's what the rest of the comic ends up being, like them scrambling to get to the wedding, as I'm going to explain what everybody else is doing. There's this really funny line because Fuko and Andy, they're both saying this at the same time. They're like, look, it's not a big deal because like the other person's definitely late. They said, in that case, I'll get there before them, and I'll be the one to wear the pants in the relationship. Yeah, real life. I guess they was definitely born for each other, like Jalen Brunson was born for basketball.
Yeah.
Anyway. We get to see Tatiana, and guess what? She
has clothes.
Yep.
She is
What a bar. What a low bar.
Yeah. Still a pro model and entertainer, currently on vacation in Japan. No, you don't say. So, yeah. She pulls up on them in a helicopter, picks up Fuko from the mountains, and they on their way. Meanwhile, Andy's hauling ass through the fucking jungle in this country, and like they're telling him like, yo, we're not gonna get there till the next fucking day. Like, you bugged out. And then Billy comes out of nowhere, and he has a plan, and he scoops up Andy's whole truck. So Billy, he's a history teacher, post-mercenary retirement. Nice. We see Teller, he's a music teacher, post-mercenary, retirement. And Creed is an Air Force instructor. Cool. Yeah, he's flying the plane. Good for him. That's under Crease, right? Yeah, Creed. So yeah, they scoop him up and they're heading on their way. Now we're at the wedding site, and we see a few more union members. What was her name? Unbreakable.
Yeah, Unbreakable.
Yeah, Unbreakable, Unstoppable, and
Unseen.
Unseen. Who was Haruka, Unbreakable. She's currently opening a chain of shoe stores. Was that a thing?
Not really.
Our family did make shoes?
I don't think so. No, they made armor. But I guess that makes sense. It's clothes.
Sure, yeah, armor for your feet. I get it.
Sure. I mean, close enough.
Chikara is Tatiana's exclusive cameraman. And he's thinking about going independent out of guilt. Bro, fuck that, man. Keep making that bread.
Yeah.
With your girl.
Don't quit a good job.
Who else is pulling up?
Top.
Oh, yeah. My bad. I forgot about Top. He's, of course, an ace Olympic track and field athlete. He's probably already won gold medals by now. Who's this? Is that Sean? Yeah. Unseen. He's an actor that's currently struggling to land.
Chikara's on move. Sean is Unseen.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah. We messed that up.
Yeah.
Well, oh no, I guess they thought that was gonna be Andy or something. But anyway, yeah, so he's an actor. See Engine, you already know he has he's still cooking ramen for people.
Making the ramen.
Yeah. Shen and Mui, which are married. They run a kung fu fitness gym, have a pair of twins, Mao and Xiao. That is adorable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, now we got a bunch of people. Okay. We have Feng, Kowloon, founder and operator of Xiaolong. It's so small, actually. Jialongmen. Pause. It's Longman. Hey, yo. Facility to teach children with no family. Simple studies and martial arts. Hey, all right, he's a fucking karate instructor, okay? Like, Yusei, who is Undraw, she operates self-defense dojo, considering expanding overseas. Yeah, why not? Bax, who's Unbax.
I didn't know that was her name.
Yeah, that's mad funny. I think I ain't gonna lie, I don't think that character was developed. So,
yeah, not at all, not even a little bit was back.
Yeah, there was definitely an arc plan for Bax.
Yeah,
I think there was something really
she was
tragic
unback,
with her.
and then we never got to know why she's in a bunny suit.
Yeah, that shit was crazy.
She may have been the only character that was fully undeveloped. Like, we don't know her backstory
at all.
She's quite literally the only one. We've met everybody else and we know them well.
It's because she's the main character of the next series.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I hope so.
Forward?
We got Phil. You remember the robot kid? Unfeel. Feel. Unfeel.
I really just realized that too.
Wow. Void. Unavoid. It's not with every name, but some of these is like, wow.
Wow.
Latla Tristan, she's resumed being a fortune teller, right? Void, he's a current boxing heavyweight champion, doesn't plan on retiring until he loses. Wow. He didn't even need Unavoidable. Akira Kuno. Currently serialized in a certain manga magazine, anime adaptation coming soon. That's the Undead Unluck guy. Kururu, she retired at height of popularity, currently an idol producer. Oh, that makes sense. Okay. And now finally Andy and Fuko pull up in their fucking helicopters and they land Spider-Man, Captain America style. Very gangster. And everyone's excited. And they're like, yo, just fucking hurry up and kiss. Let's get this over with. Because y'all doing the most. And Andy pulls out his ring while he's kneeled down. He says, will you marry me? Even if death do us part, let's always enjoy what this fate of ours has to offer. And she says, let's. So we see them ride off into the moonlight on a motorcycle. As the narrator says, Undead Unluck. This is the story of Andy Fuko Izumo. It's funny because I forgot her name, Julia and Victor are talking to each other, and Julia's like, oh, next you're going to show me your vision of justice. Oh, I don't know what the fuck that is. That innuendo?
That's what I thought at
She's
first.
thinking about,
I was like,
she's about to say,
Julia.
we about to fuck.
I was like, Julia,
Yeah.
please.
So, whoa. That's how I said Roger.
We're
man.
around company.
Right. My bad. They didn't write off yet. I dragged it. Because Nico pulls up in the motorcycle for them and they're really excited. They have the cans, rattling in the back. It's really sweet. And they got to toss the bouquet. Fuko is about to toss it. Who gets it? Oh, we don't know who got it.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. As now Fuko and Andy ride off, we see Undead Unluck, everyone living in this world, and their quest for the greatest death ever. Sick, wicked, sick. This is the end of the series.
Boy, oh boy.
That's it. No more Undead Unluck. I have thoughts, and I'm gonna skip you guys and talk first. I just want to get what I have to say off my chest. I don't have too much to say. It sucks. It sucks that this series had to get ended, shorter than it should have. It's whack that any series gets canceled in this day and age. Like, come on, y'all have the bandwidth. Y'all can let you know what I'm saying. Let authors at least run out for finish their series in a decent way. This is crazy. But regardless of that, this was a very fun series. It made me laugh a lot. It made me, be introspective. When looking at some of the characters, it was unconventional. It was a recommendation. I think the way it happened, I think people voted for it.
Yep.
Right. This was the officially first voted for.
Yeah. I forget what ended
series,
but it created an opening, and we left it to the audience.
Promised Neverland.
Yeah, it was Promised Neverland, and whoever after Promised Neverland ended, we gave the audience a chance to choose what they would like for us to listen to talk about in the podcast, and they decided Undead Unluck, so we picked Undead Unluck. But yeah.
Man, that's it, man. I mean, I love the characters. I think Nico had to be my favorite character. I think he was all of our favorite well, except for Brian, but I think Chris, I think he was your favorite character too.
Yeah,
I like Nico.
Yeah. He had like the most dramatic shift. We got so much information on him towards the end of the first loop, and then he got a lot of attention in the beginning of the second loop.
Mm-hmm.
I like how that was handled. I mean, speaking of loops, this series will always stand out in time because no other series has been like that where they literally hit a fucking reset button seemingly.
Yeah.
And it would have been nice for it to go a little bit longer, but he did it, and it was dope for a long time. I've run out of things to say off the top of my head. Loved it. It was a great time. I appreciate the fans for voting on it, and if you guys are listening, thank you.
Agreed. I am going to miss Undead Unluck. It's very funny. I don't know what stamp on my mind that this series is going to read. It's going to leave, I mean. But it's definitely memorable, and it took a space in our show for a long time that there was times where I was really looking forward to it, and it really was like a fun little series. I don't know if it'll be my top 10 even, but I think it's a perfectly good or perfectly great series overall. It is sad, like Josh said, that it kind of ended the way it did prematurely, it feels like. But it was very ambitious in its story and the way that it jumped genres around. And I like that it was still like a traditional kind of positive shonen series while also pushing the boundaries of what series like this can do. Fuko is a great character. She's like one of the she's going to go down as one of the better protagonists in Jump, just being that ever positive force, but like having a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? A lot of drive, a lot of energy to actually accomplish that positivity. It's not just sitting around waiting for good things to happen. She actually made it happen in a very real way. And, she really just like put on for the squad. Like she was the MVP the entire series, especially towards the end here with the loop. She improved herself to a crazy degree for this ending to even be possible. So, it was really cool to see it go the way it did. But yeah, I'm going to miss it, man. It's going to be very weird. To have this magazine without Undead Unluck and without this podcast without Undead Unluck. We've been talking about it since like the 40th chapter or so. And here we are at 239. So,
Yeah, outlasted Samurai 8. That's for
sure. Yeah. Outlasted a lot of series. I mean, how many series have come and gone in the time of Undead Unluck?
Several.
Yeah. But boy, man, what are you going to say? This final chapter is also good. I will say for a series that was canceled, I think it handled its cancellation as well as it could have. I feel like although things were like obviously expedited in terms of the narrative, I feel like he still got the things that he wanted to do done in a plausible way. Or in a plausible enough way that, a lot of series when they're canceled don't really get that luxury. So, kudos to Tozuka. Hopefully this won't be his last work in Jump. hopefully we'll see him again very soon. And yeah, we'll miss you, Undead Unluck. That's all I really got. Brian, what are your thoughts?
As far as last chapters go, this is probably one of the better ones. I'm not gonna lie. If you were to like remove everything that happened before this chapter, like when it comes to the final arc, this is exactly how this author intended this series to end.
Mm-hmm.
And I just legit cannot find a single thing to complain about. Like, and that's very rare for manga, mind you.
Especially those that are canceled.
Yeah, like to have a final chapter that wraps it up and keeps the essence of the series intact. Undead Unluck, say what you want about the series, like it had its vibe, it had its like its story and its and it had its message, and Undead Unluck carried it from the first chapter to the last. No matter what, it had that same optimistic family gathering story, and the final chapter is just as defining of the series as the first. And with that, that's honestly a success for any story, not just manga. So Undead Unluck, I think, succeeded with flying colors regardless of its cancellation. This series did its thing. It did its fucking thing. It made you care about the characters. It's like you witnessed a family being created right before your eyes, and it's all because of Fuko. She brought all these people together. She didn't make them love each other. She just bringing them all together and curating this made them into the family that they are. And it's a beautiful series. And it'll surprise you when you read it. It'll do some things that you like didn't think you would see. And it'll solve issues in ways that you could expect, but you're not disappointed. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I'd recommend Undead Unluck. It's a fun read, and it sucks having a feel-good manga like this get out of the rotation. So I will miss it for sure, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad I picked it up.
Yeah. But, all right. Well, are there any rebuttals?
Nope.
No, sadly not.
Man. Well, for the last time, that was Undead Unluck. And
yeah, it's been a pleasure covering the series.
Absolutely. And, man, that has been our show. Kind of a somber note to end on. Oh, by the way, before we end it, we do have an audience poll to get to. I didn't announce it earlier because there's a 3-way tie.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. There was 3 votes in total. 1 was written in. So the 3-way tie is Kagurabachi, Undead Unluck, and finally Boruto. Someone wrote in Boruto.
Who would dare write in Boruto?
Hey, easy there. Easy.
No.
Maybe I gotta see. Maybe we gotta catch up.
Maybe we gotta check it out. Maybe we gotta
Sorry, Goku.
You don't need to read this.
They haven't been cooking.
No, they have not been cooking. In fact, the shit is so fucking burnt. It looks like a meteor that fell from the fucking skies.
Well, we might have to revisit it if it's getting written in. But in any case, all right. That for real has been Undead Unluck, and this has been our show. Thank you guys so much for listening. As per usual, we will be back next week with a brand new episode. You could find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. Josh is at jdcole_37 on Instagram, at New Jump City Josh on Twitter. Brian is at b.esp on Twitter and Instagram. He may stream someday again, so follow him on twitch.tv/itspunchline just in case. Email the show at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about. We'll talk about it on the pre-show chat show that we do every week. Subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, Castbox, Pocket Casts, Amazon Music. We're everywhere you listen to podcasts. Check out the video podcast on YouTube. Give us a like, share, subscribe on that. Leave a comment with your thoughts on Undead Unluck passing. We would love to hear from you guys. Let us know what you guys think about all the chapters. And with that being said, we will see you guys next week. Stay safe, New Jump citizens.
Bye. Peace, y'all. Go Knicks.
Go Knicks.
Smoke Memphis.
Yeah.